Hello, I'm Nila Chakraborty. Welcome to SBW Talks, where strong women have real talks, share real stories, and keep it all the way real. This is a space where we drop the masks, unpack the layers, and speak from the heart. Today, I'm so excited to welcome Heather Cash, an artist, an illustrator, and a YouTube creator whose journey proves it's never too late to chase a dream. She once worked as a web developer for Google in California, but after the sudden loss of her father in 2011, Heather knew life was too short to ignore her passion. She traded Silicon Valley for Erie, Pennsylvania, to be near her beloved grandmother and to embrace a more affordable life where she could finally pursue art full time. From selling on Etsy and doing craft shows to building a thriving YouTube channel with over 26,000 followers who are actually real followers that now help others publish children's books. Heather has turned her creativity into a sustainable career. Her story is one of resilience, reinvention, and finding purpose through art. Welcome, Heather. We're so happy to have you at SBW Talks.
Thank you for having me. I'm here.
I'm excited to have you. We've known you for a little while now, and it's always
Yeah.
a pleasure. So you started a tech career at Google. What was the moment you knew that you had to just leave it behind?
Well, so when I was 29 years old, my dad went into the hospital for liver cancer. So he had hepatitis C, and for a long time he was fine and it didn't bother him, but then eventually he got liver cancer and he was a year from retiring. He was an engineer at Lockheed Martin and he only had a year left of working, and the whole time that I lived with him when I was in high school and all that, he always said when he was going to retire then he would take up woodworking. That was his creative passion. And then he had like a year left to retire and then he died. So he never got to do his passion. And that was when I kind of realized I was like, I can't just keep waiting around. And my whole life I've wanted to be an artist, like ever since I was itty bitty. And so I just got to do it.
Wow, yeah, that's inspiring that you had to follow your passion after seeing your father go through all that.
Yeah.
And moving from California to Erie was a huge shift for you, I'm sure. What
Yeah.
was going through your mind as you packed up and changed your life?
Well, I was actually really excited because first of all, the apartment I was living in, they didn't allow cats and I had a cat, so I always had to hide it. And then I was just super excited because I always wanted to live in Erie. I would always visit my grandmother. I live in Erie, Pennsylvania, and it's like a small little city. So we have like one mall and one movie theater. So whenever I would visit my grandmother, we were like super close and I would always look at all the cute little houses and I was always, oh, I just wish I could live here one day. And so I was super excited. I was, following my dreams and I was pretty much ready to leave because I didn't have a lot tying me to California. I didn't have any family there, and I never quite felt like I fit in there. I didn't have any, like, super close friends or anything like that, so
Where did you grow up initially?
well, I grew up in Florida. I was born in Erie, but my family moved to Florida when I was too young to even remember. So then I moved to California after I graduated college, and I got the job at Google. So then I was there for, like, 4.5 years.
That was a good experience to work for Google and to be where you are. What was the experience Google?
It was pretty cool. There was definitely, like, good things and bad things. It was everything people say it is. There was tons of free food. The food was amazing. It was real restaurants you just go in and eat at. They were very flexible as far as giving time off. They were really good about all that stuff. And, they paid very well. They gave raises constantly. But on the other hand, it was very corporate, and this was the first time I'd ever worked for anywhere corporate. And a lot of decisions were made top down by people who were not programmers. So I was doing web programming, working on their websites. I would think that certain things were important. If the website was getting a lot of errors or something like that. But then the higher up, the CEO or like below that, they would say, oh, we have to do another redesign of the website, even though we just spent an entire year doing a redesign and implementing it. And then as soon as we're done implementing, it's like, okay, now we have to work on a new design.
Wow.
So that was pretty annoying. I'm the kind of person where I have strong opinions and I think things should be done, a certain way. And so realized I need to not be in a job where I have to do what someone tells me to do because I just want to do things the way I want to do them.
You want to be your own boss.
Yeah, exactly.
And is this how you started your YouTube channel and helping writing books? Tell us that whole process.
I was doing art for a while and I started a YouTube channel and I put up some different videos of things. I would maybe get, 10 views a video. And I created a children's book and I published it on Amazon KDP. And then I just made a video that said my process of how I made it, but didn't go into a ton of detail. Scanned my artwork and I uploaded it and I did the layout. And then I got so many comments of people, "Oh, can you make videos of how you did this, like exactly how you did this and that?" And they would ask questions. I'm having problems with this and problems with this. So I was like, okay. So then I made those videos, and then those videos did really well. From there, my channel kind of morphed from an art channel to just children's books, pretty much. I want to do more art and vector art, but really the children's books is what does really well and gets a lot of views.
So it kind of started as an art project, like an artwork, and then it just got into children's books because
Yeah.
you illustrated your own books. Am I correct?
Yeah, I hand drew them. So the first one I ever did, I actually painted with acrylic paints on canvas and then I scanned in the canvas paintings. And then since then, now I've gotten an iPad with Procreate. And so now I draw them digitally.
So you're like a true artist, but then this business just took off into publishing children's books.
Yeah.
You started at Google, then you moved to Erie, and then you started an art business. You also had a shop on Etsy too, correct?
Yes. Yeah. I loved having an Etsy shop. The only reason why I don't anymore is because the YouTube, I just got so busy with it that I just don't have time to do the Etsy shop. But yeah, that was really nice. And it was really good, dependable income. Not dependable as in the same amount all the time, but I would always get money each week. So that was really nice. It was pretty relaxing and easy, just fulfilling orders. And I used to sell these canvases. Like my bread and butter was these it would be like a plain white canvas and I would paint a black outline on it. And then people would order that and I would put like a little paint set with it and then they could paint it in. And that was my bread and butter of my Etsy shop. And there were so many things that I had posted on there because they were things I wanted to do. I would make my art into greeting cards and bookmarks and pins and buttons and all that. And then they just never sold that well. And then I made a few of these little paint sets and then people just went nuts over them. So then I took that and I just made 100 different designs. And then that's what really made it my Etsy shop sales just really kind of skyrocket because I think that you just need to find the one thing that sells really well and you just need to keep working at it.
And how long ago was that Etsy shop and how many years did you have that Etsy shop?
I had it when I first started the art. So in 2012. And then I think I ended it maybe 3 years ago or so for like 10 years. And I think a lot of people that start Etsy shops, I think they're not successful because they'll put up 5 or 10 products and they'll say, "Oh, it's not selling." But your products aren't even going to get seen if you only have that many. I definitely learned that you have to have 100, 200 products on there just to get eyeballs in front of your products.
Wow, that's good advice for people who maybe want to start an Etsy shop and they just don't know how.
And then I think the other advice I would give someone is that say you want to do jewelry, right? Say you have a necklace that has a certain design and then you have it in purple. Well, maybe someone likes the design, but they don't like purple. Like you have to put a lot of different variations and have them all as different products so that that person that wants that exact thing will find it. So you have to do like all the different designs, all the different colors, and you just have to take whatever you see that sells, you got to make a ton of variations of it.
And then from Etsy, how did you I know you wanted to get to the children's books. So how did that transition happen and then starting a YouTube channel? Because kind of all coincided, right?
Yeah. Well, I was kind of doing the books alongside the Etsy shop. So I created some coloring books and then my children's book. And then I was doing kind of different like random videos on YouTube just about all kinds of different art stuff. And I also did some Etsy YouTube tutorials too. And yeah, I've definitely found that the how-to videos seem to do the best on YouTube and they seem to get views a lot easier. And so I feel like if you're just kind of starting out on YouTube, it makes a lot of sense to make some how to videos because that's the stuff people search for. So they're going to search for how to do this or that, and then they're going to find your videos. And then you can do some of those other videos that are kind of more informational or maybe more fun, but you have to get people to your content first.
That's good advice, how to videos, because a lot of people start YouTube channels, but they just don't know how to get the viewership going.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and the other thing is it takes so long. So, I was posting videos for a couple years before I finally started getting a normal amount of views. I would text my mom and be like, "Can you comment on my video? It has no comments." Yeah, and the thing is you can't just wait to see the results and then say, "Okay, now I'll start taking this seriously." You really just have to keep at it. Have to be consistent, not necessarily consistent in posting. I know a lot of people say that, but I'm not consistent because I get busy with other stuff. But I'm just saying, don't just do like 10 or 20 videos and then give up. You have to be committed to it.
I think that's really good advice, being staying consistent and keeping up with it. And you have 26,000 followers over a few years, correct?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it took so long to get the first 1,000 subscribers because I needed that in order to get monetized, but once I finally got those, then I think it was just, like, once I really started looking at which videos got views and what people were asking for, then it started growing, but it grows so slowly. So, there never was, like, that one video that just, like, blew up my channel. I mean, there was the one video about publishing a children's book that kind of like got me thinking about like what videos I need to post. But as far as, having a video go viral, I've never really had a video go viral. I've never had like a certain video blow up my channel. It's just been so slow, very, very slow growth.
I think you are being really realistic here because a lot of influencers come on and they buy bots or whatever and they have like 10,000, 15,000 followers, but that's just not the case.
Yeah.
You're like a real true influencer who actually stayed consistent, figured out what is going to get you your followers, and you just continued.
Yeah, and I think another thing that helped a lot, I respond to pretty much every single comment that comes along. And I try to be a friend to people. Like, I try to start like have relationships with people. So eventually I made a club on Facebook, creativity club, and I always invite people to join. And so we can talk about things, and then we do a video chat once a month. And I think it just really helps to kind of have that community aspect so you can share your projects, ask questions, and then the people in the club, they tell me what kind of videos they need too. So, I'm always willing to help people. And I think that's what my YouTube channel has kind of morphed into because I guess I've always really liked to help people and teach people, and especially the technical stuff, because I feel a lot of people that are in this creative field, they went to art school, which I wish that I did, but I didn't. I went to school for programming. So I do kind of have the technical aspect of it. So I feel like I can kind of fill that gap in for the creative people.
And your career has like changed so much and you've become like almost a content creator on YouTube from starting at Google to starting an Etsy shop, helping people publish children's books. And that's like a big niche because you don't find people like yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And I do have, it's weird because here's another thing that can really help people on YouTube is that like I'm always trying to get people to start YouTube channels, okay? And they always say, but there's so many people out there doing it already. But the crazy thing is like I've literally said that myself with like certain videos, and people would ask me to make certain videos and I'm like, but there's already so many out there. And then people will be like, but I like the way you teach. And I've watched 20 videos and I still don't understand it. And when you explain it, it makes sense. And so what I always tell people is it doesn't matter if there's a million other people doing it, because first of all, on YouTube, it's really different than something like Etsy, where like on Etsy, there's competition because someone might buy someone else's product instead of yours, right? But on YouTube, they don't have to watch either this other video or yours. They'll watch both of them. People love to binge watch on YouTube. And so, you don't really have to worry about competition. And then the other thing is you're a human and the other people are humans and every human is different. And, so you just got to do it and stop making excuses. That's what I say.
And then when that first monetization worked, what did you think?
Oh, the monetization. I was super excited for it. So when I first got monetized, I was making $30 a month. But yeah, it was super exciting. And I do see all these YouTubers that are like, I barely make anything on YouTube. I make like $5,000 a month. Then I'm like, are you kidding? I would never have to worry about bills again if I made that much on YouTube. So the monetization has slowly increased, but so right now I'm making between 4 and 500 a month, which is really nice because that does pay for my mortgage since I live in Erie, and so my mortgage is only 400 a month.
Yeah.
Awesome. But one of the biggest things that has helped me so much as far as like becoming financially independent, which it basically took me like 13 years to
But still,
do.
you became financially independent.
Yeah. So yeah, one of the biggest things is actually so there's this YouTuber Dusty Porter and he helps other YouTubers with, getting their monetization and all that stuff and helping them make a living off YouTube. So he has like these help sessions. So I booked a help session with him and I was like, "How come I'm not making thousands of dollars a month on YouTube?" And he was like, "Forget about the ads that you make money off the ads because you can't count on that and it's never going to be enough." And so he said you got to do digital products. And so I was like, I don't know what I could do. And he's like, well, you could make templates. And I was like literally to make a template all you do is create a file the right size and you add guides to it, the end. And he's like, well, whatever, you have to try it, but making excuses. I was like, okay. So I did it, and actually, it was the most amazing thing I could have done because people do want to buy the templates. Even though I have videos that walk you through the whole thing, sometimes people just want it made already for them. And then by doing that, then people ask for other stuff. And so then, I add those products in. And also, I have a Wix website. And with Wix, you can make the products pull up right underneath your videos on YouTube. And so that was so cool. And now when you watch one of my videos, you can see my products underneath it too. And so now the people that I know that have YouTube channels, I'm always, you got to do this. You got to make products and make it pull up under your videos.
That is so cool. You could be Dusty Porter, just helping people, become really great at YouTube and how to be successful on YouTube.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, you are on the artistic side of publishing and creating books. And did you even know that children's books would be so popular, Heather?
No, I did not. I mean, I wanted to do one because my art is kind of cute and whimsical and all that. But you won't believe how many people in this world have a dream of publishing a children's book. Almost every person. I would say like 98% of people are, it's always been my dream to write and publish a children's book, whether they're an artist and they like to illustrate, or sometimes, actually a lot of times they just like to write. And that's, their dream. It's always been their dream.
That is so neat. Maybe it's the childlike essence coming out for them
Yeah.
as an
Yeah.
adult.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's what I like to write about in my children's books. I write about lessons that I wish I knew as a kid.
So you're quite busy then doing all these things. Is this like a full-time job for you? Almost having your own business at the same
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, it definitely is. So when I wake up in the morning at 8, then I work on projects and then I have lunch and then I work a little bit more and then sometimes I take a nap. But then in the evenings, I'm always working on stuff too. But the thing is that for me, like I kind of have different energy levels throughout the day. And so I can kind of work with that. So like in the evenings, I'll usually work on something more low key. Like if I have like an illustration project and I can just kind of curl up on the couch and draw and listen to a podcast. Whereas, in the morning, I'm like ready to go. So I'm like, okay, let me get this stuff done that was going to be kind of more brain power type of stuff that I really have to use my brain for. So yeah, that's really helped me a lot is kind of working my day around my different energy levels.
Wow. San Francisco, Google to Erie, Pennsylvania, and having this amazing business of yours. Who would have thought, Heather?
Yeah.
And tell us about your website and how you give consultations. You charge and you help people and you review the books, the
Yeah.
illustrations.
I find a lot of people that they'll get stuck in the process of creating a children's book and they just want someone that they can just talk to face and like ask questions and even like share their screen and then say like, why am I getting this error? And so, yeah, so I did add to my website, I have like a service where I do like a video chat session with people and they can just ask any questions. I'll help them with issues. And then like I also have one where, I'll go through your book and look at design stuff and I'll give you design advice and how to make your book look better, more professional, that kind of thing. And then the other thing is like a lot of the people that follow my channel and watch my videos, they're not like artists that draw. So they will create their children's book using Canva graphics and then they'll kind of build the scene with that. And it's really great until you kind of get to the character part. You can kind of get stuck because you might not be able to find a character you like that has a lot of different positions, like sitting and standing and all that. And so I also have this service on my website where I'll just illustrate a character for you and I'll have them in whatever different positions you want. So you can create the background in Canva and then you can just drop in that character pose. And I think that is a really good way to have a hand drawn element to your book, but it's not going to cost how much you're going to pay someone to illustrate an entire book for you.
Do you think this publishing of books, there's Harper Publishing, Penguin, do you think they'll still be in business with Amazon KDP coming in?
Oh, that's hard to say. I don't know because they do make really great books, and I think if you look at the books that they're publishing and the books that people are self-publishing, you might have some amazing books that are self-published, but then there's also a lot that get out there that, you know, maybe they don't have that eye for design. And so you do kind of need that. And that's the thing about the big publishing house is that they have people who will do the design, who will find a great illustrator, and they will make the book look amazing. And so that's kind of like what I try to help people do. So if everybody listens to me and does what I tell them to do, then we'll be able to put those big publishers out of business.
Yeah, because I think it's going on the digital side because no one wants to pay them. They're expensive.
I know. Yeah, the cool thing is if you were to get a publishing deal from one of those big publishing houses, they'll like prepay you thousands of dollars and you probably are not going to make that much self-publishing your book. But the thing is, I mean, getting picked up by one of those publishers is like winning the lottery. And
Oh.
you're just going to send your story into all these publishers and, just hope that they respond. I don't know, that just doesn't sound fun to me. Like, I'd rather just put my story out there. And then the other thing is the publishers, they want to have someone write the book and someone else illustrate it, and they want to pick the illustrator. And I'm like, no, I'm going to illustrate my own book. So I really like the freedom that self publishing gives. And I think a lot more people should do it. But I think that people just need to really work better on getting their books out there. A lot of people will just publish the book and then they'll just think, "Oh, it's just going to, go viral. People are going to buy it or I can just post it in all these like Facebook groups and groups on Reddit, right?" But I mean, in my experience, selling stuff online, selling books online is really hard because finding your book is like a needle in a haystack. And the other thing is online, when people find your book on Amazon, they can't flip through the book and see all of the pages in it and all that. So they don't even know what's in it. So that's why I think doing in-person stuff is really the key to getting a lot of book sales. Like you got to go to local bookstores, get your book in local bookstores, you got to do events and you got to do all this stuff so that you can kind of like build a following. So then the next book you come out with, you'll have those people that want to buy that book. And this is how you grow. You grow by doing these little things over and over. You don't just publish a book and then it just goes wild.
That's great advice. This has been a great podcast because you've given so much advice to so many of our viewers. What's one last thing you want to tell our SBW Talks viewers?
One last thing is I want to tell people that it doesn't have to be perfect. Just get it out there and quit making excuses and quit being a perfectionist because you're going to do better and better each time. And the first children's book that I ever put out, I didn't even really like the cover that much, but I needed to get it out. I was done like myself, like I couldn't think about the book anymore. I just wanted it out. And then now, years later, I went back and redesigned the cover and made it better. Like you can always change things. Just put it out. And with my YouTube videos, in the beginning, I had like bad sound and all that, but I wasn't going to wait until I had like an expensive camera and a mic and all that. Just get it out there. Just do it because you'll always be able to iterate and do better and do better.
No, that is really good advice. Just start now and don't delay. And I think that's why you're so successful because you're like, I just need to get out and do it.
Yeah, I'm too impatient. My boyfriend says I'm the most impatient person because I'm just like, whatever, I'm just getting it out. I have to be done with this now.
We should have another podcast on your health. How
Oh, yeah, my brain.
Yeah, if you didn't know, Heather was in the hospital almost 6 months ago, right?
It was in February, so whatever
Yeah.
that was. Yeah, I think that
Yeah.
was 6 months ago, you're right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we were all worried for Heather, but with God's blessing, she's here today with us. That's like another podcast.
I had a brain tumor, so that's the short version, and then my brain surgeon, Doctor Zen, he went into my brain, and he had to spread the 2 halves of my brain apart and go in and take the brain tumor out from between the 2 halves of my brain.
Yeah, that's like in another podcast I think
Yeah.
we can discuss. But yeah, thank you, Heather. You're a delight to have. You're an inspiration. And again, SBW Talk viewers, please subscribe and watch our channel, and we'll put all of Heather's information up so you can get in touch with her. Consistency is the key, as she just said, to be successful.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you,
you so
Heather.
much for having me. This was so fun.
Thank you. Thanks.